You thought you were being smart. You thought you were being clever and genius and having some expansive experience, and instead you end up being explosive. Now you get your hand blown to fuck off. Let's talk about this grand fire trend that we are experiencing and talk about some correlations. You know what I'm saying? Because we know the major headlines in St. Kitts is that somebody hand got blown off by some explosive. And when it comes to the Sagittarius energy that we are experiencing, moon in Sagittarius, late degrees in Sagittarius, so that means we're well mature and ripe into the Saggy energy. You know what I'm saying? That deals with explosion, expansion, you know what I'm saying? You know, the Sagittarius is the man on the horse with the arrow, you know what I'm saying? Shooting and, you know what I'm saying, being technological when it comes to emitting fire and fireworks and stuff like this. And we're moving into the Guy Fawkes season where people are going to be, you know what I'm saying, busting off the fireworks and the explosions, and esoterically and spiritually, you know what I'm saying, this is the start of, you know what I'm saying, having some explosive and expansive situations in our life, whether negative or whether positive. So we're gonna dive deeper into this major fire trine because it's a serious astrological event, and it's where we have alignments of three planets, three energetic forces are in fire signs. So we have a placement in Aries, a placement in Leo, and a placement in Sagittarius. And it come with a lot of hothead energy. You know what I'm saying? Just look around the world. Look around the world and see what's going on. Because we use the media in astrology as the highlights or the pinnacle or the instances where we see the influences and effects being played out on the highest magnitude. You know, we look at Hollywood and celebrities because, you know, the more power you have, the more the influence you have, the more the influence is displayed on a certain type of level. But anyway, let's keep it pushing. So in astrology, right, when it comes to the trine, a trine or the triangle is symbolized, is known as being harmonious, a harmonious alignment, a harmonious aspect. Because when you think about a triangle, it's a stable structure versus a square, which has two opposing sides. So whereas the triangle, everything is working in harmony, everything is working in symmetry, there's no oppositions really, but just different perspectives, and for the most part it's a harmonious, stable structure, versus a square, which could be stable but also again has two opposing sides. So in astrology we look at it, the trine being harmonious. And so when we have a grand fire trine, we know that it's a gift that brings harmony, that brings flow, that brings ease of access. And then you need to look at the fire archetype and look what fire does, and you know, the characteristics of fire and what it constitutes of, and different examples that we could extract from nature, and you know, different sciences and wisdom. So again, fire is what? Hot. Fire could burn, could heat up things, could make things boil. You know, what happens when things boil? Things could come to the surface. So fire brings things to the surface and draws things out of us. Fire also destroys, and when things are destroyed, you know what I'm saying, that's a form of transformation. So fire could transform. Again, fire could warm things up and, you know, make you comfortable. So fire is comforting as well and brings warmth and joy and pleasure, happiness. Fire, again, could illuminate, you know what I'm saying? So we start talking about visions and visualizations and being able to see, and people being able to see us, and our expression based on how our fire is moving, and their expression, how their fire is moving, taps us into, relativity and some sort of entertainment and recreation based on our, interaction, observation, curiosity, stimulation. So, that's a esoteric viewing of how to look at, the aspects and the elements. And then when we tap into the modalities now, you have the cardinal, which is sparking. So sparking the fire, like the spark, you know what I'm saying? Boom. Just sparking something. So electricity or any type of, sparking mechanism, that would represent like the Aries, who could initiate and create that, that fire. They could initiate the conflict. They could initiate the aggression. They could initiate the comfort and joy and create situations that could be destructive but also pleasureful and beautiful. And then we have the Leos, which is the constant fire, constant, fixated, always going, just, never changing, just going, persistent, determined, headstrong, stubborn, fixated qualities. So again, you could see that, that type of fire has a different characteristics from the Aries, which is more initiative and creative. And then we have the Sagittarius, which is, a blending or a mixture, a more advanced version of both of them, where the Sag could be mutable, flexible, adaptable. So it could spark, it could sustain, so it's more spontaneous, It's more movable and changeable and adaptable to what the circumstance needs. So with the major fire trine, we have all of those capabilities, you understand me? And it's going to influence us and affect us in different ways based on our sign and, our other planetary positions and alignments and aspects and yada, 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 yada. But in some way, shape, or form, we're going to have the gift for our fiery energies to flow. So again, we're talking about our creativity, we're talking about our confidence, our bravado, our passion, motivation, even our aggression, because we know that fire could be destructive and it could destroy and burn. It could also reveal, and bring a sense of clarity to situations, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But after everything is burned down, then, then you could see clearly, after it should be the rain, but after the fire is done, all the smoke has passed, and, it's a longer process than the rain. But, the transformative qualities of fire, could bring clarity to certain situations, depending on how you apply the pressure. So now we know that it's a gift. Fire is going to be flowing. It's just how it's going to be affecting you, how it's going to be influencing you, how are you going to be using it to be seen and, exude yourself and push out whatever you're trying to push out into the world. And we have a gift right now. So again, it's how you want to use the gift. Yeah. So let's talk about the actual planets and the actual positions, because we already brought down what we're speaking about in great detail. We just need to put the planets where they're supposed to be. So let's tap into something that I was noting down. All right, so in astrology, the trine is considered as fortune or easy flowing that connects planets. Aries energy is bold action, independence, and initiating things. The Leo brings creativity, self-expression, and confidence, while the Sagittarius adds that adventure, curiosity, and expansion of thinking. So together, the Grand Fire Trine creates a circuit of inspiration, motivation, and potential for action. It's a time when people may feel more driven expressive, and also confident in pursuing their goals. Now, some people goals may be a bag of, you know what I'm saying, a bag of dung. May even want to get too explicit. But people are going to be going towards good goals and positive goals, and people are going to be going towards negativity and harm and malice. So we need to keep that in mind. You understand me? So we need to stay spiritually protected in these points in times, because we are also into the Scorpio energy where a lot of occult things are going to be happening. So even though there's a possibility for a lot of expression and a lot of, directness, there's also, the scene set for a lot of occult type of activities, a lot of on the table activities, a lot of behind closed doors things could be, finally expressed and revealed and communicated, and a lot of transformation is going to be happening. America election is today. So that's just showing you a great correlation of everything that I just said in terms of all of this emotion bottled up, all of this tension is finally going to surface and finally going to, kick off. We already said that fire brings things to the surface. So isn't it funny, or a correlation, a correspondence, a synchronicity that the election is today? We're in the Scorpio season of power and control, transformation. Today is the grand fire trine that also signals, what was deep and below the surface now surfacing, things being made clear, illumination, and a new vision. The Aries, we just said initiating things, sparking things. We have the fire, which is confidence, and being bold and, steadfast in that characteristic. And then we also have the Sagittarius, which will bring us to some type of expansion through these experiences. So a whole lot of synchronicities when it comes to, major events that are happening in this point in time. Yeah. So again, I believe in using these alignments and aspects for you personally. So what are you going to do with these energies now that you are somewhat aware that, you have a boost in your creativity, a boost in your confidence, a boost in your ego as well, a boost in, just being able to go towards your passions and your goals in a more direct way, in a more passionate way. I don't say how much times I could go over it for y'all to get it in your head. So now let's dive into some more influences. Well, we already talked about the confidence. We already talked about greater enthusiasm with the fire enhancing your flow, and your creative ideas and your enthusiasm when it comes to projects and endeavors. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be an ideal time for you to really pursue your goals and your endeavors. So be wary of a lot of distractions at this point in time. Again, fire deals with visuals and visualization and imagery. So social media is going to be lit. The internet is going to be lit, and it's going to be a whole bunch of distractions and things to take you off of your spiritual path. We also have the nodes in Aries, and the nodes kind of represents your spiritual paths. So what you should be going towards, which should be, Aries like things. So being bold and being independent and being able to create a new situation for yourself, versus again Aries in its negative light of just creating things or indulging in imagery or visualizations, but not being able to sustain anything or not being able to be fruitful, and have your own creative expression and have your own sense of identity. Aries could just be lost in the sauce with everything that sparks their interest and every trend. So Aries could be quite lit and quite trendy and got a type of forever young type of energy, but like nothing really stable, you know what I'm saying? Because they could kind of move with the time and initiate when it's time for change. But what about being fixated? What about being sustainable? What about being organized? What about being structured? What about all of these other characteristics? You know? So that's one thing we need to keep in the back of our minds. All right. When it comes to the actions that we need to take, the fire energy is quite active, not passive. So, even though we're going through the scorpionic time, we're going to be feeling the urge to splurge, but not necessarily with spending money, but we're gonna have the urge to mash works and to do things based on even our emotional state. Now we know that a lot of these planets, or a lot of these energies, like Mercury that just slid into Leo, and also Mercury that just slid into Sagittarius, and Mars that just slid into Leo, are carrying a lot of these watery energies, are carrying a lot of these Cancerian energies, carrying a lot of these Scorpionic energies. So our emotions, you know what I'm saying? Because they're cusping, so the emotions and the feelings and the connectivity and the relativity and, those type of spiritual, type of more elusive inner aspects of ourselves that were being nurtured, that were, going through transformations, or shifting and springing forth, and we're going to be able to actually see the fruits of our labor, the fruits of what was happening during those nurturing and watering stages. So, a lot of emotions are going to be coming through and being expressed. So a very emotional time and emotional expression. So don't be too hot-headed, you know what I'm saying? All the fire signs, chill out. Chill out. We're in St. Kitts, aka St. Kills. You understand me? Chill out. Just keep it cool. You know what I'm saying? And I like how, the police got a lot of certain people, certain individuals in the jail right now. A lot of hotheads are like, you know what I'm saying, being forced to cool out, whether through institutionalization or other means. We need to keep it that way. We need to keep level heads on the street right now, so everybody cool down, simmer down. Let's talk about some signs who are going to be very much affected at this point in time, because I think that we all have the gist. Now, I know that I didn't really speak on it in a real positive note, but you could imagine that, with all of this fire, you could really, really do some bold, creative things with all of this fire. So again, it's not to shy away from these energies. It's just to understand that, okay, we have access to it, and when the situations arise in your life, you know that, okay, boom, I need to be courageous. I could use my inner fire to be bold. I could use my creativity when the time arises. I could be, you know what I'm saying, entertaining or amusing or enthusiastic or charismatic. I could tap into these energies. I could be adventurous and exploratory. Well, is that a word? But what I mean, curious, and tap into like your inquisitive side and learn about something real quick. So just use the energies as situation arise. You understand me? So you could initiate, you could fixate, you could also mutate. So boom, use the gift wisely. No, not all gifts are great. You could use this to do a whole lot of bullshit, like blow your whole hand off. You understand me? So be careful, motherfuckers were real curious about some thing that wasn't even productive or productable. And a whole lot of that is going on because we're gonna be having Guy Fawkes. There's a whole lot of Juves saying, you know what I'm saying, Saint Kitts or Saint Juve, as they say, a whole lot of Juves and a whole lot of instances of unproductibility and unproductiveness. So all of this harmonious, flowing, fiery energy that we have could be just going down like lava, you know what I'm saying, and being destructive versus, being creative and productive and, really ushering you into a new level of productivity and creativity and, you know, personality, charisma. You feel me? Anyway, let's so all of the fire signs are going to be greatly impacted. You understand me? So all the Aries, and I'm saying y'all got the possibility to just be distracted and being in la la land trying to create a whole bunch of stuff and nothing sticking just because you not learning how to be more like the Leo, more fixated and more determined and more persistent. The Leos could be flunked out and in a mystic position because they're so headstrong and stubborn that they don't know how to switch it up like the Sagittarius, and they don't even know how to create a new way for themselves or a new image or a new personality or character. So they're just stuck being them, the same old, doing the same old. So yeah, peace be unto the Leos. And then the Sagittarius is could just be too curious and, you know what I'm saying, to inspect a gadget and lead them, I'm saying, to blow their hand off just because they're trying to get some sort of thrill and some sort of experience. So all the fire signs got to be really careful, and everything is going to be filtered through Scorpio, which is going to be some transformative type of situation. So everything is looking like chaos, and everything is looking like, blood is going to be running, things are going to be red, and shit, like, it could be good or it could be really bad. That's why I feel like in the Scorpio type of time with all this fixated energy as well. Fixated energy, pressure only goes one way. Pressure don't go two ways, and if pressure is going two way and there's having a collision, that's chaos. So better believe that Scorpio is a chaotic type of time. Like, just look around you, man. Like, things are sweet, things are nice. You could see your way if you're on the positive side of the energy, but if your mind is on the, I'm saying, if your mind is just looking at the negativity and your spirit is in a negative spiritual space, then shit, I'm sorry for you, man. Like, even me as an astrologer, who profess to be spiritually inclined, I'm going through my ups and downs. So just imagine people who are naive and ignorant and negligent of all of the energies that influence them. All right, so let's dive into like the overall influence. Again, this is going to affect everybody differently. All of the signs are going to be affected because when it comes to these these major astrological events, especially with stelliums and stuff like this, like, it just energizes the different modalities, the different elements, and, even the different alignments that we didn't even dive into. And there are some major aspects, so I'm probably going to do a different video talking about that different aspects that are aspect in this major aspect right now. So it's a crazy time, man, like, if you really think about it. So again, I'm urging everybody to just use these energies, or use the next 2 days specifically. Well, not even the next 2 days, because the moon is going to be swiftly moving into Capricorn, which is a time to, stabilize what you visualize today, because we're in the late degrees of a Sagittarius moon that deals with our inner emotions and, just having a expansion when it comes to our inner child and our inner man's inner woman. So there's going to be some sort of curiosity, some sort of expansion, some sort of wisdom, some sort of knowledge that we're going to be reacting and responding to, something that makes us feel a bit more larger than life. And then the negative aspect of that could just be making us feel down and retarded, and we could be having a contracted situation where we're feeling insecure and we want to box ourselves in. So a word to the wise is enough. The air element is also going to be affected mystically because Aquarius is a fixed sign and it's opposing Leo. Libra opposes Aries, and Gemini opposes Sagittarius. So all of the air signs are going to be affected with some type of opposition right now. So the air element and the fire element is at war right now. Is at war right now. So y'all gotta be careful. Be careful. Look out for the Geminis, look out for the Libras, look out for the Aquariuses, because in some way, shape, or form, they're gonna be going through it in their lives. They're gonna be facing challenges and oppositions when it comes to this major fire trend. The major fire trend is gonna opt out. All of the air signs. So the air signs, y'all gotta be careful. There's a war on you. So a lot of things, you know, situations, people, circumstances that will arise in the next 2 days are going to play out as like a hurdle or something that you have to jump over, or just like a minor frustration if you let it be that way. For example, let's say you might already have a plan or a goal or a creative endeavor, or your passion is already, you know, planned out to go a certain type of way. And then, maybe the person cancel or something happen where you can't do that again. You know, those are like oppositions and different challenges that stop you from going towards your passion, right? So you could get frustrated for stuff like that, or you could just look at it as aware of, oh, I just need to be mutable, more like the Sagittarius. Okay, I can't do this, then I could fall back and do this. This opens the opportunity for something else to happen. So that's just a minor way of how it's gonna play out. All right. I'm gonna end this video now because it's getting a bit long-winded. In the next video, we could even submerge deeper into the actual stelliums, talk about Mercury being in Leo because it's like 0 degrees or just fresh into the sign. So a whole lot of new energies coming in when it comes to our thinking, communication, being analytical, and just being social in some way, shape, or form. We also have Mars 0 degrees or early degrees into the Leo sign. So again, that's a whole nother deep dive that we could get into. So I'm going to cut this video and probably, talk specifically about those two alignments and how it's going to affect, you depending on what house is in. Major farewell for now. I'm local astrologer Kevis Major. And y'all have a major day, election day in America. And y'all be careful with those firecrackers. And moreover, be careful with your guns and ammunitions too. Like, keep those at home. Okay? Like, keep those at home. And I'm just gonna stay there. Major farewell again. Until we meet or greet again. Doing it major.